So welcome to the call again, and I'm super excited. Today I prepared something interesting because, the thing is, maybe some of you guys tried it already from the exercise what we did last time to just look for people who have the same interest, message them, and try to lead the conversation. And when you realize that takes time to find those people, then you look at the profile, then you're not sure, should I message them or should I just message someone else? And that's just a process where you filter basically. And the interesting part is that was the thing what helped me to have all the time new recruits, because this is what I did in Dominican Republic. I was in a group, what was called Germans in Dominican Republic, and I was messaging people every day before I go to bed. I did this 30 to 50 conversations every day. That was just like, because I was so afraid that I was not able to make enough money in my business, that I have to fly back to Austria and be employed again. And that was my fear, what I had. So I was messaging people like crazy. And when I woke up, I took my phone and replied to all those people, because I messaged most of the people in Europe and because of the time difference. And then I kept building, and I always, out of those conversations, there was one very interesting person I recruited. I think I mentioned that in the previous calls. That person did 70% of my entire sales volume in my organization, just because of the activity what I did during the time when I lived in Dominican Republic. And so the question is it worth it? And I can say yes, but it also takes a lot of work. And I just want to tell you how I discovered how I can make that process easier. And I launched my coaching business in January this year. And I'm in network marketing, and my target group are basically people in network marketing. So I have to find a conversation or a conversation starter to reach out to people in network marketing. In your case, it's different, because you want people. Let's break it down. Who do you want in your business? You want someone that is hungry, that is coachable, that they are willing to change, and they are unhappy in the current situation. Like people who are into personal development, people that are looking for change, people that are willing to improve themselves, right? So, and now the question is, where do I find those people? And what's interesting, we all know the legend Jim Rohn, for example. And when you go on Instagram, I give you just an idea, and I go on the Jim Rohn page, and I see, for example, there are different pages. One of them has, for example, 600,000, and I can start a conversation with people who like this post, right? I can go there, for example, and see here who's liking the post of Jim Rohn, and I just scroll through the people. And even when you see, that takes a lot of work, right? So for example, I can take, let's say Jordan. And I can message Jordan, but it's a young boy, maybe not a young boy. Let's take a different one. Let's see Darren, because he looks like a good guy. So I can message him, and I can say, hey Darren, I see you follow Jim Rohn. How long have you been interested in personal development? For example, this is a conversation starter, what is so natural that it's very easy for people to reply. Don't make the mistake and ask a complicated question in the beginning where people have to think what they have to reply, and then they are more likely not to reply because they have to think too much, because they don't know you and there's too less trust. So when you reach out to people, you have to make it as simple as possible. And this is, for example, something what takes a lot of time to reach out to those people, to go to their profile, who looks interesting, and start the conversation. And when I was launching my coaching business, that took me a lot of work. So I was looking for someone who could do that. And this is what they call today is about. So how to outsource that task that someone is messaging people. And I just want to show you in a real time example that works. Because when I messaged Enrique for the first time, that wasn't even my message. That was the guy from Fiverr who found Enrique. Because I said, look for people who are in network marketing, look for people who follow Eric Worre, look for people who follow Fraser Brooks, for example, in my case. But I just want to tell you like how, because I booked this guy on the 17th of December, and on the 18th, basically, he sent that message. Hey, Enrique, are you network marketing? Just like a generic opener. And he says, hey, what's up? Yes, I am. And then I just asked a little bit. Then I had a lot to do because the Fiverr guy was reaching out to 50 people, and and then he was texting me, he's like, why does it take so long to respond? And I was like, yeah, I have a lot of people to reply, So, but then I explained him basically what I do, and then we jumped on a call, and this is how we ended up here. So that's the proof that it works. So the thing is, everybody can do this. And I know there's one guy, I think Rene, but I'm not sure if I have the name correct, who is the construction worker, for example. I think,
Yes.
yeah, exactly.
Yes, sir.
So, for example, what you can do, just in as an example for you, you can go on Instagram and you can say, or you can say to that guy, construction. Let's say people that are into construction. So, and this guy is messaging people who use the hashtag construction or who are doing something similar to that topic. And the reason why that works is because you have construction in your bio and you reach out to construction workers. So you have basically a similarity. So if I message people who work in construction and say, hey, I've seen you work in construction, since how long are you doing that for? Then they are more likely to reply. And this is so interesting. And this guy is messaging around 45 to 55 messages a day. And this is crazy because, of course, he doesn't have all the right people. And of course, he's not as good as selecting people. But the thing is, he's messaging 30 to 50 conversations a day in your niche. It doesn't matter what it is: personal growth, fitness, construction. It doesn't matter what kind of people you want. You can just give them links like Instagram accounts or similar pages where like you give him basically different lakes where he should fish. So does it make sense a little bit? And how I came up to that was because I didn't know that someone exists who's doing that. But there is, when I went on Fiverr for the first time, I looked for a social media manager and I said, hey, look, I don't need to create posts for me. I don't need to post anything. The only thing what I want is that you message people in my name. Can you do this? And she said yes. So, and I booked her for like $120 and she messaged people. And then I was like, holy shit, that really works. And then I found out later, after 6 months, that there is a specific like description for someone who's doing that. And that's DM service on Fiverr. And I send you the guys later in the group, then you can just message him. And he's charging around $80 a month for 30 to 50 conversations a day. And I really took notes what is the outcome after 1 month, just in the previous months working with this guy. And when you do the math, when you multiply 30 by 40 or 45 messages a day, you have around, or this guy sends around 1,350 messages a month with your name to someone in your target group. Between when he's reaching out, let's say 40 to 50, you have around 7, or let's say, yeah, so 6 to 10 people reply. And out of those 6 to 10 people, you just message them and find out where can you help them to improve their lives. Because look, I give you an example. The example of Rene. He's working in the construction somewhere, working, busy. He comes home, he has to look 1.5 hours for people who has to message, or he takes the guy who's messaging people in the meantime while he is at work. And I did this with someone from Germany, and he said, I did this for the first time. And that's crazy because I come home and I have like 7 people that I can reply and I can talk about the business and I can ask them and I can be interested. And this is, for example, something what I learned to learn the skill of delegating, that because you cannot multiply yourself. You have to outsource tasks, what you don't want to do, what costs you time. And out of those conversations, I had around, I just tell you this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, even I wrote it down here, 5 people who signed up for my coaching programs just because of that guy reaching out to people in network marketing. And I invested basically $80 to this guy. And I sold coaching offers around for $7,825. So basically you see that here, $7,000 just because of that guy searching the people for myself. Of course, it's different in your case, but I can understand it's way easier to sell someone the Herbalife business opportunity where they have to invest, I don't know, like $300 or $150 to just to get started, to try free products, instead of investing, for example, a couple thousands, what I charge for my coaching programs. And this is very interesting because even let's put it that way. If you invest $80, that he's reaching out to people every day. Even if you sell just out of those conversations, let's say 3 or 4 times a product, you basically didn't take your money because you have all the money back, but you invested into this guy. And this is what I just want to, that's really crazy when you think about that, because just think how much time it takes you to reach out to so many people. And of course, this guy is not perfect. Sometimes even he writes the last name and says, for example, hey, Riviera. So, but even if your name is, let's say, Virginia, it's like, sometimes it's difficult because they sit somewhere in Pakistan. The reason why that works so well and why that's so cheap is because they sit on the other side of the planet. So, and they don't steal your password or anything. You book them because that's their work. And if they will do anything, then you just message them or, for example, reach out to Fiverr and say, hey, this guy stole my password. If someone is that the fear, because that was my fear. And then I work with someone else. And then he said to me, yeah, but if this is your fear, then it should also be a fear that every dog who's walking next to you will bite you. And I was like, yeah, that makes also sense a little bit. So, and then I was like, yeah, I trust these guys because they're working, that's their job basically. And I really work with this guy who I can recommend you since 6, 7 months. And of course, he's not perfect. Of course, sometimes he also likes the pictures, and sometimes he also comments like, hey, that sounds cool, or that's an amazing picture, or stuff like this. But the reason why it works so good is because of the amount of messages what he sent out. Because it's like, there's even that quote from Jim Rohn, what you lack in skill is basically what you go through or make it away with your numbers, basically, right? If you're not good in the beginning, you just do a lot because then you're still good because you put so much work in. And that's the same like here. And that helps me a lot to be more productive and to focus more on the things what brings more money. This is even in your case, that's the sales call. That's when someone is like interested in the opportunity, interested in the product, that is the thing what pays you at the end. But how you get to those conversations, when you have specific tricks and things what you can do. For example, I also have a guy, what I realized, because editing the videos with the captions and the videos in between, and when all the things are flying in from different directions, that takes me a lot of work. I was sometimes editing like 1.5 hours on my own the videos. And then I went to this platform, and then I booked people sitting somewhere in Pakistan editing the videos. And this is also, for example, how you can be like more productive. And I want to definitely, I would definitely try it. It's no subscription or anything. It's just you message them and they say, hey, I can even send you a text template. Say, hey, I come from Alex. I want the DM service. Can you do this? That's my target group. And your task is just to look for pages on Instagram that are similar to the interests what you have. For example, what I did before we jumped on the call, I used ChatGPT a little bit for this because that is also an option. So in the ask, basically, sometimes you need to write a little bit different. I said, give me pages on Instagram where I can find people that are interested in personal development. And he says, I cannot assist with that. And then I said, what are the biggest pages on Instagram that share stuff about personal development? And then he says, I'm unable to provide real-time data because I'm not up to January 2022. And then I said, before 2022. And then he said, here is the list of the pages. So what I did, basically, I went to, let's say, the success diaries. And I take this success diaries and look it up on Instagram. And then I see, okay, that's for sure not the page. Or let's say mindset therapy. So 7.2 million followers. People that follow that page are interested in what? In mindset and in therapy. Guess what? So, right? So it's like they're interested in personal development, in getting better, in having the right mindset. So these are all people. For example, if I have someone, the goal is to find someone on this page who's working a 9-to-5 job and is not happy in the thing what he's doing. That's basically, that would be the best avatar to start a network marketing business, because they are unhappy in the situation and they're willing to work. And you send the Fiverr guy, for example, this page, you just copy the link, say, I want you to reach out to people like this. Hey, I see you follow mindset therapy. I like this page. Since how long are you interested? Or since how long did you follow this page? Or since how long are you interested in becoming better? Or what do you want to accomplish, for example, is a second question. And that works so good is because he's doing that 30 to 50 times a day. And in my opinion, it's impossible not to have someone buying your stuff in the next 2 weeks out of those conversations. And there is no subscription or anything. It's just you book it for a month. You say, I'm going to try this thing out. I'm going to book him. I say, here is my password for my Instagram account. I confirm it in the app. He gets access. He's messaging the people. And maybe if he's for example, messaging some wrong thing, then you can also message him in between and say, hey, do this different, or here is a wrong, or here you did something wrong, adapt this somehow. And this is definitely something what I would try. I don't make any money out of it because it's $80 on Fiverr. It's $80 when you book directly at him on WhatsApp. But I really want to help you to get more people in. And technically, we all know like what to do, right? So we just need to talk to more people. So this is like, if you break it down, it's like, what do we have to do? Just talk to more people. The reason why you're not there is because you don't have enough conversations. But if I have already someone who's taking that part away from me, is reaching out to people, and I get 6 to 8 replies every day, I mean, this is something what really makes my business easier. That's what I realized as well. Otherwise, I wouldn't work with those guys since almost, with the last guy since 6 months, and with the previous girl, it was like another 6 months. And that worked very well. So if you have questions, just let me know. John Hood was smiling in the chat, was laughing. Maybe that was
Yeah, I was laughing, Alex, at Enrique's response. Why did it take so long for you to respond? But I did have a question really quickly. With this program, do you also send out messages yourself and do your own prospecting throughout the day, even when he's
No.
messaging for you? No, you let him just do it only.
The thing is, even during, that was 2 days or like 4 days ago, I said, hey, he was like, hey, do you renew my service? And I was like, yes, but give me 3 days. Because I had days where I couldn't even go to bed because I just want to finish the tasks, and I had some people waiting more than 24 hours for a reply. And I had like 40 DMs not answered. And I said, hey, stop doing this right now because I cannot answer them all. And then I answered them all, and some people went on a call. Even, the thing is, it doesn't matter if someone is not replying anymore because he's shooting the next day another messages. And you know what the thing is? You always get new people on your profile because what are they doing before they reply? They just check it out. Who is messaging me? Who is interrupting my piece, right? And that's the reason why we discussed before how to have a great social media appearance. Because if this is on point, people are more likely to reply. And even, for example, it also makes sense to edit that video like professionally. I don't know if you saw that from Enrique. Even this video was like insane. Did you see that? Like how many views that got? Like double or sometimes even 3 times in compared to the last 10 reels what you posted. And because this is the first impression basically. And so I don't, the only thing what I do is when someone is following me new and there is no conversation, what the Fiverr guy started, I message everybody who is following me new. And I say, hey, thank you for the follow. How did you discover my profile? But that's the only thing what I message. And then I just, because it's easier. I just go in, they ask me something, I just reply with a voice message or with a quick text. And I do this during the day. I think I spend around, I would say 1 hour or 1.5 hours a day just replying to DMs and scheduling calls.
Do you give the guy a list of questions to send out or to engage with, or does he start with his own?
Yes, you give him basically the page. Let's say that the Jim Rohn page. You send him the link. Is you say, this is the page you reach out, and this is the text for the Jim Rohn page. And he sends, hey, Sandra, I've seen you're following Jim Rohn. Since how long are you interested in personal development? Hey, Max, I've seen you follow Jim Rohn. Since how long are you interested in personal development? Hey, Jacqueline, I've seen you follow Jim Rohn. And he's doing this like 50 times a day. And if your Instagram account is new, but I don't know if someone has a new account, it's only possible to send 25 messages. I also tried to clone myself and create multiple accounts and to message even more people, but that didn't work. Then Instagram shut down the accounts. And I also tried to make it even, to outsource it even more. And I say to the guy, look, I give you commission for every sales call what you book, and you lead the conversation and you invite them basically on a call. But this doesn't work. Maybe someone has the idea to do this, but I tried it for 1.5 months and I couldn't even get people on calls anymore. Because the thing is, the people on Fiverr, this is important to understand, they are only good at the thing where they have their gig mentioned basically on that platform. So you cannot use them for something else. If he says, I'm good at reaching out to people, he's only good at reaching out to people because they cannot, it's very difficult for them to read between the lines. This is what I realized. And yeah, I said, okay, stop doing this. Just message people. It's the first message and I do the rest. Some more questions, maybe?
Yeah, so Alex, on the first message, that's it, right? So when they message the first message, it's my job to reply the next message, right?
Exactly. You reply to the response of the first message, what the guy replied, basically.
Okay.
So you take it from there. He's not leading the conversation. You lead the conversation.
So he starts and I do the rest, basically.
Yes, he's just making the first step. He's looking for the people, sending the message, and as soon they reply, it's your job to lead the conversation. So for example, like the Jim Rohn page, this is what I would do. If they say, yeah, I'm interested in personal development since 4 years. Say, oh, nice, that's cool. So how did you discover it in the first place? Yeah, maybe Instagram, or I'm just interested. And then I ask her, because if I want to recruit people, it's always easier to find out what they do for a living. Because as we know, it doesn't matter what you do for a living. If you have a job, there's always something what you don't like. And this is the thing what you have to find out. The only mission what you find out, the only mission what you have is to find out where the person is unhappy, basically. What do they don't like about the current situation? And And if you follow this goal, then you don't speak about yourself because they are not interested anyways. The problem what you can make is if they say, I do this I'm interested in personal development since, let's say, 3 years, and you say, hey, that's cool. We work with Herbalife, personal development. That's so cool. Do you want to, I can send you a short video. Do you want to watch it? So this is not how it works, right? So you need to like be interested first, like then ask, hey, what do you do for a living? Nice. Since how long are you doing that for? Was it always your dream job? And I just try to find out on a smooth way, what do they want to change? What do they want to, because the example, what Enrique mentioned today in the beginning of the call, what the guy spoke on the stage on the event in Las Vegas, where he said, the people what you have right now in their organization, they will not help you to double your volume or to bring you to the next rank. These are completely new people. Okay, so how do you get to new people? Is by having more conversations, right? And if you have this guy having more conversations in your name, basically, every day, you cannot tell me that in 1 month from now, if we make another call on the 24th of February, you don't have someone who is like, all right, that makes sense somehow. And even when you keep talking with those people back and forth, they always check your profile in between. And I had it sometimes that they're like, oh, and then they follow me. And even if they don't buy immediately, or if they don't go on a call, they're just still watching my videos. And sooner or later, we know it, the fortune is in the follow-ups. They get all the time videos where I explain something on my business, where I share a testimonial, where I share what I did today. And sooner or later, they will understand it. And for example, maybe you're lucky. Let's say you make an Instagram poll and you say, who wants to lose weight? ? And then you give them the options to vote. I want to lose 4 kilos. I want to lose 8 kilos. I want to lose more than 10. I want to gain muscles. And I always had, for example, I had that someone from the person who reached out to those people every day, watched my stories and voted on the poll and typed on something. In my case, it was what is difficult for me, finding customers or recruiting people. And then I messaged them and I could basically directly have the conversation, right? And if someone says, I want to lose 8 kilos, for example, they'll say, okay, great. What did you try so far to lose it? And then maybe she says, yeah, I tried this and this, but it was difficult and it was hard for me and I couldn't do it. And then I'll ask even more questions, right? So what is difficult for you? Is it nutrition or is it training? Maybe I can give you some tips. And then he says, yeah, it's like, I don't know, I'm stressed out every day and I don't know when to cook. And then I eat outside and I eat crap, like people always have the same problems, right? And then your goal is just to ask a few questions in the DMs and say, I think I can help you. Let's jump on a call today, 10 minutes. And in that call is you help her. And at the end, you show what you have to sell to her. And if you present this as the solution for the problem what she's having, then people are more likely to sign up. And this is what I did 100 times, all the time, with people, finding out what they do for a living, what do they don't like, inviting them with a voice message where I said, I think you would be amazing at this. Let's jump on a call, show them a quick video. And by the way, we create an amazing Herbalife presentation. Right now, the guy is editing and make it super cool with testimonials in it and some effects. And there will be like a 12 minutes video where people can see what they can accomplish health-wise, financial-wise, short, powerful. And this is an amazing tool what you can use to recruit people. And this is what I used all the time to build my business, not the Herbalife presentation, but we always built the business with videos. People got video because it's easy to see how good that works. It's because it's a standardized tool what people watch. And yeah, this is pretty cool. And I'll send you the guy and how to message him, basically, what you have to put in after the call in our chat, and then just book him and try it out. As I mentioned before, no subscription, nothing. If you don't want it after a month, You don't, because he's like, you only pay for a month anyways. It's not that you get somehow that it gets deducted or anything. It's not like a subscription, not like a Stripe link or anything. It's just like you book for 1 month, and after 1 month he's texting you, hey, do you want to do another month or not? And then you just decide. But I'm pretty sure that you get people buying your stuff. It doesn't matter if as a distributor or as a customer or people who want to lose weight, 100%. And that's the reason why you're here, right? Because you just want to build a business. You just want to elevate. You just want to come to a higher level. And if you do this, you have all the time people to talk to, and you just need to practice the conversation. And even if you mess it up once and people don't reply anymore, that's no problem, because they are messaging every day for like until you want it. And this is what I realized. I also tried once to create somehow leads, with like paid ads, but that shit costs so much money and the quality is mostly horrible, what I realized. Maybe there is some guys who are really good at this, but I spent, I don't know, sometimes like $500 for like 2 weeks. I got a few leads and they were not really good. And here I pay $80 a month and I get a lot of people. I mean, look, even if you say, let's say we messaged 1,300 and only, in my case, 6 people bought my thing. But for me, it was not really work. It was maybe 1 hour a day. And I do like 2 to 3 calls a day. And that was just from that one person, basically. So just try it out. And if you have questions, just reach out to me and we can, if you use this guy, then we can make another call, for example, next week. And then you can tell me like what is difficult. Is it difficult to lead the conversation? Do you don't know what to reply? Or then we can do it that way. And then I can help you even more. I think that's a good idea.
Hey, question for you. I know like the post that we put out, is it important to put hashtags? Because I know you're going to like a hashtag of Jim Rohn or something like that. Or is that important on our side when we push content out to use that?
You can basically, if I mean it makes sense, because then, but I would not. I mean, if you make a motivational post and then you put Jim Rohn hashtag in the comments, I mean, you can do it. But the thing is that what I realized, what I saw from other people, that hashtags are not that important anymore. It's more about what you write in the caption, and Instagram works more like a SEO, like a search engine optimization, basically. What tracks the keywords in the captions. And it's, for example, the hashtags, what you post, like if you post like what you did 8 years ago, like 30 different hashtags, that's not that valuable anymore. I mean, like everybody's telling something different. Everybody's the Instagram guru, it's like do this way, like do only like short videos, 7 seconds. The other ones like make it 60 seconds. It's like everybody's telling something different, but that makes sense at least a little bit. For example, when I make a post, I always try to mention, for example, network marketing, online business somehow, coaching, sales, recruiting, and I try to create basically a text below my videos and sometimes pictures what uses those words. And yeah, and I would just think it can even be something so super simple. Let's say you have a dog and there is a page, it's called Dog Lovers. And hey, I've seen you follow dog lovers. Do you have a dog? And you have a picture with a dog. So it's so simple that people reply, or even if you have kids, like it's like if I use the hashtag mom, and hey, I've seen you're a mom, I have 2 kids, how old are your kids? Right? And this is what you can give to that guy. And this is so easy because you get more replies. And I mean, for every mom, it's the dream to have enough money from home that you don't need to work something aside, or you don't need to work somewhere in a restaurant to afford your life, right? So if you have a business from home, being independent as a mom, making money from home, create the best life for the kids, creating the best foundation, like every mom wants that. And this is basically just the goal, that you start the conversation with similarities. And that helped me all the time a lot. And this is what I did this is what I did basically all the time. It doesn't matter what I sell. For example, there was a time when the company that I worked with got sold. I was selling gold, like physical gold on Instagram with a company together. And I even sold gold on Instagram just by doing the same things what I did here. It's just like, because when as I mentioned before, when you break it down, it's just like, how many people do you talk to? And if you find a way to talk to more people, of course you get more results. It's just that's logical. And yeah, just try it out. And I'll post you the link in the chat later. And then let's use it. Enrique, do you have some other things to cover? Is anything else or is something else important?
No, I think that was like the biggest thing is going over, because like we always try to figure out, because we're not that big of a social media organization yet, but how people always consistently had people in there like prospecting all the time, so that's to know this, because I just was having some side conversations where like, this is probably what this people did, like there's some other people that do like the fit couple or the unstoppable fit couple, they're like, they probably did things like this to be able to always have like engagement conversations with people. So it's good to know, because we didn't really know that. That's good.
Yeah. It would be interesting. Who of you knew that something like this exists? Because I did today another call with a German group, a smaller, they were like only like 5 people, and nobody knew that that's possible, that you can hire someone to do that. If you knew that that is possible, drop a 1 in the chat. And if that's new for you, then just drop a 0 in the chat. That's really crazy. Yeah, that's so interesting. And that's like, even on that platform, because there are people living in poor countries and they earn different hourly wages than what we do. And they program a website for $500. For example, I work with someone in branding as well, and there are guys, they create logos for $10. If you would hire an agency in the States just to create a logo for your company, they take you $1,000. And there is a guy in Pakistan, when you see, for example, he draw like 12,000 logos, like in the last 5 years. It's like that's so interesting how you get like access to those people. And yeah, so if you have questions, if something is unclear, if you want to know something more specific, that's the group for. Just ask the questions in the group, and I post a link from the guy, and then you can message him and just try him out for a month. And then I post the recording, and then you can rewatch it later. It was nice to spend time with you, and see you in the next episode.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.